Organic snacks are a tantalizing alternative to all those sugar-filled non-organic treats out there, except when they're also filled with tons of sugar and other questionable ingredients. Whether you're a little kid or a full-fledged adult, chances are you've got a soft spot for a handful of brightly colored, chewy gummy bears. The original gummy bear first hit the market in Germany in 1922, and soon the rest of the world was also on board with these sweet-tasting morsels shaped like everyone's favorite furry animal. While they're obviously not known for their high nutritional content, you may have thought you'd stumbled across a healthier version in the form of Black Forest organic gummy bears, which are available in boxes of 70-calorie snack packs in grocery stores across the United States.
Real juicy, real good.
Alas, that's not really the case. While these adorable bears are made from organic juices, they also offer an elevated number of added sugars, 11 grams per pouch to be exact. Black Forest does deserve some credit for avoiding any artificial food coloring, which is what most gummy bear candies are made with, but that doesn't really do anything to mitigate all that sugar. It's no secret that many chewy granola bars are filled with so much sugar and fat that they might as well be called candy bars, but perhaps you thought that Annie's organic chewy granola bars would be different. After all, they are produced by one of the better-known organic snack companies around. Before you plunk down any cash for these bars, it's worth noting that their nutritional profile is far from flawless. They're highly processed, and they come in swinging with the same amount of added sugar as many other chewy granola bar brands. They also include other eyebrow-raising ingredients such as palm oil, which is high in saturated fats, rice flour, which can contain arsenic, and natural flavors, a wide-reaching and often controversial ingredient that has been called out by consumers for its vagueness. Simply is Frito-Lay's line of self-professed cleaner snack products. It includes various bags of Cheetos, Ruffles, Tostitos, Lay's, and Doritos that are free from artificial colors and flavors. Perhaps you've encountered the Doritos Simply Organic White Cheddar Tortilla chips and thought they'd be a nutritious appetizer to put out at your next backyard barbecue. But while these crunchy triangles may avoid artificial ingredients, calling them nutritious might be a bit of a stretch. Ultimately, the organic white cheddar Doritos hardly differ from the original chips nutritionally. A serving of standard Cool Ranch Doritos, for example, has 150 calories, 2 grams of protein, 8 grams of fat, and 1 gram of fiber, which are exactly the same numbers in the organic white cheddar variety. The sodium and carbohydrate counts are virtually indistinguishable as well. And while the ingredient list is admittedly shorter and simpler on the white cheddar bag, the recipes still mirror each other quite closely. Ultimately, organic Doritos are still Doritos.
A sociopathic Dorito.
The ketogenic diet emphasizes low carbohydrates and high fats. Shoppers who adhere to keto are pretty much always on the hunt for tasty on-the-go snacks that fall within these particular parameters. InnoFoods offers a tantalizing option in the form of coconut keto clusters, which consist of bite-sized sweetened balls of pressed-together pecans, almonds, and pumpkin seeds. In addition to being keto-approved, they're also non-GMO, gluten-free, vegan, and organic. But while these crunchy little morsels provide the high fat count that keto followers require, the fat is mostly the unhealthy saturated kind, unfortunately. Specifically, each 1-ounce serving contains 8 grams of saturated fat, which has been linked to heart disease, Alzheimer's, and obesity. Health-conscious keto consumers out there are better off reaching for a snack that contains more of the good heart-healthy fats, such as the monounsaturated, polyunsaturated omega-3 or omega-6 types. So consider skipping this prepackaged treat and instead reach for a handful of macadamia nuts, a hard-boiled egg with a creamy yellow yolk, or a ripe and ready avocado. If you've got an insatiable sweet tooth, then you're probably constantly on the hunt for a delicious, guilt-free cookie. Perhaps you think you've already found one in the form of the heavenly Hunks organic oatmeal dark chocolate chip. Alas, we hate to burst your bubble, but these little hunks aren't quite as angelic as their name suggests.
'Cause you're a dang hunk.
With 120 calories, 3.5 grams of saturated fat, and 7 grams of added sugars per one modest-sized cookie, you're not coming out too far ahead in the nutrition department compared to a non-organic chocolate chip treat. According to Nutritionix, a standard medium-sized chocolate chip cookie has about 148 calories, 2.4 grams of saturated fat, and 9 grams of sugar. So while you may save a few calories by opting for the heavenly version, you're increasing your intake of those unhealthy saturated fats. Furthermore, you'll also sacrifice what might have been a nutrient-rich whole wheat flour cookie for the dense fillers that make up the Heavenly Hunks recipe. These cookies are baked with both tapioca flour and potato starch, to nutrient-lacking gluten-free baking alternatives that don't offer much in exchange for their calorie count. While these cookies may be an acceptable choice if you're allergic to gluten, there's probably a more nutritionally sound option out there waiting for you. It's typical for meal bars to contain a relatively high number of calories, protein, fats, or sugar, similar to a full-sized breakfast or lunch. Perhaps you've spotted the possible organic meal bars with their simple packaging and organic label, and thought that they might be a lighter option with a more acceptable nutrient count. However, a quick scan of the label reveals numbers that are just as shocking as those found on a standard meal bar, or possibly even worse.
That's impossible!
To start with the good news, these bars sport 20 grams of protein to keep you full longer, as well as a relatively clean list of ingredients. However, there are also a whopping 31 grams of sugar in each bar, 17 of which are added sugars. There are also 420 calories, a hefty 20 grams of fat, and 39 grams of total carbohydrates. If you're hiking a mountain or trying to gain weight, then this high-carbohydrate, sugary, fatty snack could be a healthful addition to your diet in moderation. But for anyone else, these bars may be just a little too much to swallow. The term empty calories refers to foods that provide our bodies with calories but little nutritional value. And sadly, many modern prepackaged snacks fall into this category. Health-conscious consumers on a mission to find quick and easy snacks offering a bit more in the way of nutrition may have stumbled across the MadeGood organic star-puffed crackers and thought that they'd struck gold. After all, they're certified organic and gluten-free. Plus, they have no artificial colors or flavors, and they have nutrients that come from veggies. While there is indeed some good to be found in these crackers, there are also plenty of negatives. Each serving of the sea salt variety has 6 grams of fat, 240 milligrams of sodium, and 21 grams of carbs, but only 1 gram each of wholesome protein and dietary fiber. Not only does this render them mostly empty calories, but the crackers are also baked using palm oil, an ingredient high in saturated fat. Still, to their credit, the star-puffed crackers do contain vegetable extracts and are allergen-friendly. If you have kids with nut, gluten, soy, egg, sesame, or dairy allergies, then you could do worse than throwing some of these in their lunchboxes, as long as they're eaten in moderation. It's pretty doubtful that anyone has ever seriously thought of jelly beans as a healthy snack, but a glimmer of hope may have been ignited if you've ever stumbled across the YumEarth organic jelly beans. They're organic after all, so surely they must not be affected by the nutritional downfalls of standard jelly beans. Sadly, that's simply not the case. While these harmless-looking little beans are free from all major allergens, they're nothing but sugar bombs, just like any non-organic jelly bean. Additionally, the ingredients used to sweeten these rainbow nuggets are cane sugar and rice syrup, the latter of which has a higher glycemic index than standard table sugar. Plus, they have practically zero nutrients.
You got nothing.
You'll also find a few preservatives peeking out from the labels, such as ascorbic acid and thickeners, such as pectin, both of which have been known to cause stomach issues like gas and bloating if consumed in large amounts. The most redeeming qualities about YumEarth's jelly beans are their allergen-free status, as well as the fact that no controversial artificial food dyes are used to color them. Portable yogurt tubes have become a popular kids' treat replicated by dozens of brands time and time again. While that might seem like a good thing, the problem is that many of them contain loads of added sugars and other questionable ingredients that many parents would surely prefer to avoid. That's where the Stonyfield organic kids yogurt tubes come in, offering what initially appears to be a safe haven from the problematic additives found in many standard, non-organic yogurt brands. But before you splurge on a box of Stonyfield tubes for your after-school treats, do yourself a favor and take a close look at the label. These certified organic tubes contain 6 live-active cultures and are free from any food dyes or high-fructose corn syrup, which is an undisputed win. However, they also come with 6 grams of sugar per tube, 4 of which are added. There are also 5 milligrams of cholesterol to account for, as well as a small amount of saturated fat and some thickeners. To top it all off, there are only a measly 2 grams of protein per serving. You're probably better off grabbing a high-quality plain Greek yogurt and mixing it with some honey and fresh berries for a lower-sugar, healthier snack, even if it does take a little longer to prepare. Cascadian Farm produces a wide variety of organic snacks, such as cereal, granola bars, and frozen berries, all of which are made from ingredients grown the old-fashioned way. But that doesn't necessarily mean that all of its products are free from less attractive additions. Case in point, the organic oats and honey granola, a bag of mouth-watering crunchy oats coated in sweet honey just begging to be sprinkled atop a plate of chopped apple slices. But before you dump half the bag into your morning bowl of yogurt, there's one nutritional element you may want to consider. Each 2/3 cup serving of this snackable topping comes with a whopping 14 grams of added sugar, While some of this sweetness undoubtedly comes from honey, there is also cane sugar as well as molasses. Overall, that makes for some overkill in terms of the sweetness. But if you do decide to have some of this granola anyway, pay close attention to your serving size, as it won't take long to hit your daily recommended sugar intake with this one.
Too much sugar.
Flours, juices, eggs, and old-fashioned oats are a few of the products offered by the organic powerhouse brand known as O Organics, which is available at Albertsons. It produces an organic take on what feels like everything under the sun, from milk to frozen desserts to prepackaged snacks. One of them is a granola bar consisting of a whole grain shell filled with a pureed strawberry jam in the middle. Similar in style to the classic Nutri-Grain bars, the O Organics version might seem like it has a leg up nutritionally. Unfortunately, that isn't really the case. Not only do the O Organics bars have the same amount of carbohydrates and saturated fats as the non-organic Nutri-Grains, they also have even more added sugar. Furthermore, the ingredient list isn't as straightforward or simple as you might hope, with various additives, processed oils, and thickeners all in the mix. Simply put, if you're looking for a healthy organic treat alternative, then these aren't really worth the purchase, although maybe you can have a bite every once in a while if you keep it in moderation.